Most people text too much and say too little. They send message after message, trying to keep someone's attention without realizing they are doing the opposite. The person on the other end starts to feel the effort. And effort without mystery is not attractive. What actually keeps someone thinking about you is not volume. It is the right kind of absence. This video is going to show you exactly how to create that. Before anything else, you need to understand one fundamental truth about human psychology. The mind does not obsess over what it fully has, it obsesses over what it almost has. This is not a trick. This is how attention and desire actually work at a neurological level. When something is completely available, the brain files it and moves on. When something is just out of reach, the brain keeps returning to it, keeps pulling toward it. This is called the Zeigarnik effect. Unfinished things occupy the mind far longer than finished ones. Your texting needs to use this principle deliberately and honestly. The first thing to understand is that your opening message sets everything. Most people open with something forgettable. Hey, how are you? What are you up to? These openers ask for a response, but give the other person nothing to think about. A strong opener does the opposite. It lands with something specific, unexpected, or genuinely curious. It makes them feel something before they even reply. Not manufactured intrigue, real specificity, real observation, something only you would notice or say. That specificity signals that you are paying attention, and attention feels like care. The second thing is to never complete the emotional arc of a conversation over text. Most people make the mistake of resolving everything, answering everything, closing every loop. When every loop is closed, there is nothing for the other person's mind to return to. Leave one thread gently open, not through games, through genuine incompleteness. Say something that hints at a larger story you have not told yet. Reference something you experienced that day without fully explaining it. Make them curious enough to wonder. Wonder is the engine of thinking about someone. The third thing is strategic timing, not game playing, genuine rhythm. When you respond to every message within seconds, you train the other person to expect instant access. Instant access removes anticipation, and anticipation is one of the most powerful emotional states available. Vary your response timing naturally, not to manipulate, but to reflect that you have a life being lived. A person who is fully absorbed in their own world is inherently more interesting than one waiting by their phone. When your response finally arrives, it carries more weight because it was not guaranteed immediately. The fourth thing is the art of the unfinished thought. End a message just before the most interesting part. Not as a cliffhanger performance, as a natural pause before something real. I had the strangest conversation today. Tell you about it later. That single line will occupy more mental real estate than a full paragraph explaining everything. The brain hates incompletion. It will return to that line throughout the night without being asked to. The fifth thing is to make your messages feel rare and considered. When someone knows you send long, thoughtful messages rarely, each one lands like something worth reading. When someone knows you message constantly, each message becomes background noise. Quality over volume is not just better strategy, it is more honest, it reflects actual thought. Send the message you genuinely mean, not the one you are sending to stay visible. The sixth thing is to ask questions that require real thought to answer. Not what did you do today? Not how was your evening? What is something you have been thinking about lately that you have not said out loud to anyone? What is the last thing that genuinely surprised you about yourself? Questions like these do two things simultaneously. They signal that you are interested in depth, not just surface conversation. And they give the other person something meaningful to sit with before they respond. That sitting with it is exactly where the thinking about you happens. The seventh thing is to occasionally send something with no expectation of a response. A piece of music, an image, a single line that made you think of them without explaining why. Just this made me think of you. Nothing more. No question, no follow-up, no pressure for engagement. This kind of message is rare because most people cannot send something without needing something back. When you can, it signals genuine security, and security is deeply attractive. It also leaves them with a quiet question they will carry through the night. What made you think of me? The eighth thing is knowing exactly when to stop. The most powerful thing you can do in a text conversation is end it first. End it when the energy is high, not when it has run out and gone flat. Most people keep conversations going past their peak because they are afraid of what silence means. But ending at the peak is what makes them want to come back. A conversation that ends while they are still engaged leaves them wanting more. That wanting more is what carries through the night into thinking about you. The ninth thing is to never over-explain yourself in text. Over-explanation is anxiety performing. It is trying to control how you are perceived through volume of words. Short, grounded messages from a place of genuine confidence land harder than paragraphs of justification. Say the thing, trust it, stop. The space after a short, confident message is not emptiness. It is room for them to feel something. The 10th thing is the specific callback. Days after a conversation, reference something they said without warning or setup. Just a single line that proves you were listening, that it stayed with you. You mentioned something the other day that I have not stopped thinking about. This does something very specific to the other person's brain. It tells them that they matter enough to be remembered without being reminded. That feeling of mattering without effort is one of the most powerful things a person can experience. And it will make them think about you because you showed them you think about them. And now here is what holds all of this together. None of these things work if they are performed without genuine feeling behind them. People can feel the difference between someone who is present and someone who is executing a strategy. The goal is not to manipulate someone into thinking about you. The goal is to communicate in a way that is genuine, considered, and interesting enough to stay with them. The difference is internal. It lives in your intention before you type a single word. If you are doing this from a place of scarcity, of needing them to think about you, it will leak through. If you are doing this from a place of genuine interest and real confidence, it will feel like magnetism. The texting that keeps someone up at night is not clever, it is real. It is someone who knows who they are, communicates with intention, and leaves something worth returning to. That is what you are building toward, not a technique, a way of being in communication. Because a way of being cannot be faked for long, and it does not need to be. When you are genuinely interesting, genuinely present, and genuinely secure, the texts write themselves. And the other person finds themselves thinking about you not because of a trick, but because you gave them something real to hold on to. That is what stays with someone through the night, not cleverness, reality. Start there. Everything else follows. If this resonated with you, subscribe. We go this deep every single day. Tell me in the comments, what is the one texting habit you have had to unlearn? Someone else is carrying the same one. Take care of yourself out there. See you in the next one.